balik lagi live. Yeay. Halo Kak Frey, halo Kak Nels, welcome. Jadi akhirnya setelah menimbang-nimbang, aku memutuskan untuk main itu aja ya hari ini. Apa sih ini? The Roottrees are dead. Ntar ya aku promote dulu. Semoga suaraku baik-baik saja saat membaca nanti. BTW kalian ngapain nih malam ini? Lagi pada ngapain? Ini hari apa sih? Oh hari Jumat, nggak terasa ya. Aku kira tadi masih hari Kamis tahu. Langsung aja kita main ya. Sedang farming di game gacha yang mana lagi nih Kak? Kak Frey, game gachanya banyak sepenglihatanku. Oke, jadi sesuai yang jadi ini yang buat yang kemarin ngikutin ya. Kita kemarin main The Roottrees are dead. Kita episode satunya kita menguak itu buat pembagian harta warisannya si keluarga Roottrees ini ya guys. Ini kan udah terpecahkan semua. Nah terus habis itu kita dimintain bantuan lagi nih untuk memecahin kasus yang kebanyakan kasus keselengkihan like ya dan prime suspeknya ya si Guy Hudson ini ya. Dia first affair-nya sama si Joanna Robertson ini, dimana mereka punya anak yang namanya David Fellows, yang dia jadi itu dia jadi rapper, dan dia mau minta pembagian hak juga ke keluarga Roottrees karena dia merasa gue lahir sebagai Roottrees nih, jadi harusnya gue dapat juga dong pembagian hartanya gitu. Nah sekarang gara-gara dari satu keluar yang lain, kita harus nyari yang lain-lain lagi. Oke. I don't know the house. Ini udah bener loh. Ini aja yang kita nggak tahu. Oke. Oh ya ini nih, Garland James dan Garland Robert. Oke, wait a second. Uma Musume dan Limbus sama ini juga nungguin lift. Wah, Kak Frey juga main Uma Musume. Wait. Oke, kita ini family tree. Oh ini. Kita baca ini dulu deh. Mana sih tadi yang waktu itu tentang si kembar itu? Nah ini. Oke, them. Oke. Wait. Robert Garland, Jameson Robert Garland aja langsung lah. Oke. Ini cover dari November issue. According to the article, the two brothers own a small walk-up window in the Boston called Friday. Okay. A play on the tie-dye shirts that the serfs wear. Okay. Okay. Oh, salah. Serfs, vegetarian dishes, iya. Jadi mereka kayak punya toko gitu ya, yang hanya menghidangkan makanan untuk para vegetarian. Most of the offerings are heavily inspired by the powerful spices found in Thai and Indian food. Okay. Indian food spices. Their signature dish is the samosa corn. Yeah, it resembles a traditional ice cream complete with waffle pot pattern. Instead, it contains fried potatoes, pureed peas, carrots, and a special ginger-based sauce. Robert, who is 3 years younger than James, jokes that although the age difference has left him delegated to wear the sauce Jeff. Okay. Robert is the one with those Jeff. Okay. His whole life he doesn't mind. As a result, James answers most of the interviewer's questions. James credits his loves for food and his culinary skills to their upbringing. Most kids hate vegetables growing up, but they don't have parents like we did. My father was a chef and my mother grew up on a farm that supplied his restaurant. That's how they met. I don't have any memories from the farm or anything like that since we moved here before I could even talk. But they told me stories. My dad's a great storyteller. He even wrote a book that partially helped Fun Friday. Oh iya. Bapaknya nulis buku ama itu ya yang pernah nyuri resepnya itu ya. When we moved, they were looking to open their own restaurant together. Unfortunately, they never got it off the ground. His line cook gig ended up being less temporary than he hoped, and she had to go back to work as secretary even after Robert was born. Before we were old enough to go to school, we spent our days with my aunt. In the diner where he worked, then bapaknya kerja di itu ya berarti. Diner. My dad had no room for experimenting, so he'd exercise his skills at home on his day off. We'd always go shopping and cook as a family on those days, and even though we were hyper kids running around and causing a ruckus, those were some of our family's favorite memories since we were all together. Mom always had the eye for the best vegetables for him to work with, and she did her best to pass that on to us. According to the article, their parents, who are now retired, visit Friday often. They even have a signature dessert, the Sistine apple. Apple pie has always been my mom's favorite, and my dad always had this stupid line he used to make her laugh involving apple pie. Most people realize it's a Sistine Chapel pun and assume that's all there is to it, but it's secretly named after them, sort of. Oh, okay. Wait. Okay. Oh, so that means berarti yang punya itu si ini ya. Wait. Siapa tadi? Berarti yang punya jaket berarti yang pakai jaket merah itu si Robert. Oh, oke. Oh yeah, this one is Robert. Wait, I forgot how old was Robert again. Oh ya, Robert yang muda, 3 years younger. Oke. Wait. Okay. Okay. Yeah, but they are not chef. Okay. Christine Apple is named after both parents. Can we search? Okay, periodicals. Okay. Chef signature covered Friday less than a year ago, right around the time you were doing your initial investigation. Each article in Chef signature tends to focus on a restaurant and like list one dish that the samosa cone. Okay. Oh, it has. Oh yeah, this one on popular culture. Okay. Oh yeah. Does it have anything on crocodile? Ah, ini dia. Piketty magazine is kind of sleazy, so they're not afraid to publish a few details that more reputable news publication normally wouldn't. You look up the Billy Sims incident, and it seems they did report on it. You gain a new bits of information, though it might not be useful. Billy Sims was once arrested for throwing a Molotov cocktail at a company that was found to be testing their products on animals. Ooh! According to the police paperwork, Crocodile Clementine's bail was paid for by Tostarito Jacobson. Who are you? It was fairly expensive. Piketty interviewed other students that were at the event to find out if anyone knew anything. And the word going around was that Mark Clementine showed up because his daughter Mary was graduating that night. Ah, okay. So Mary. Wait. Mark Clementine? Oh yeah, this one. Oh, it's him. Kirain siapa? Okay. Tostarito Jacobson. Oh. Billy Sims. Oh, okay, it's the same. Oh, Mary. Oh, nama daughternya Mary. Sorry. Mary. But which daughter though? Okay, maybe we can marry Clementine. Okay. Nama sekolahnya apa sih? Oh wait. Grandor. Oh. Nothing. Okay. Crocodile. Oh yeah, do they have anything on Guy Hudson? Oke. Tostarito Jacobson. Ah, ini dia. Fuegos Fiesta regional Mexican fast food chain held a competition in 1993 that offered free meals for life to anyone that legally changed their name to Tostarito. The tostarito was a burrito with a clinical tostada shell inside the flour tortilla. According to a few different sources, Tostarito Jackson used to be named Lucinda. Lucinda? Okay. Offered 3 meals by huevos. Fiesta. Used to be named Lucinda. Okay. Old Hollywood. Oh, this one is Portland. Oh, does it have Vegas? Okay. Salah. On kami go. Beda ya. The Tostarito. Oke. Okay, there is nothing. Okay. Lucinda. Oh iya, kalau aku cari emaknya ada nggak ya kira-kira sih? Where? Salah. Amatsu siapa? Mary Beth Clementine. Nothing, okay. Sistine Apple. Oh, oke. Sistine-nya dari Christine. Oke, fine. Oke. Baru ngerti aku. Oke. I was kinda lost, so the missing issue of Picote by Cicely Sanchez attracted a particular group of people. Yeah, I know. Conspiracy theories. Oh yeah, Roottrees related conspiracy theory. I think we do have them. Isn't this one? Wait, I forgot what was the name. Yeah, the conspiracy website. Wait. Which one again? Old Hollywood Teen Blast. Which one? I forgot. Bentar. Ini movie production. Wait, which one is the hint? Oh, the Roottrees Curse. Oke. Haha. Thank you. Okay, during your initial search, you came across the Thomas Overwood's conspiracy page about the Roottrees. Oke, iya jadi dulu kayak ada konspirasi teori kalau si Roottrees itu ada punya kutukan, makanya presidennya suka mati gitu. Soalnya si Guy Hudson tuh matinya rada nggak wajar katanya. Oke. 8 months later, the page still exists and is thriving. The visitor counter has reached 7 digits. Many older articles have been replaced. It seems that the recent uprising in Roottrees news has left Thomas Overwood with a constant stream of events to base new theories on. Okay, more than one of his theories involve Roottrees deaths being faked. According to Overwood, statistically, when you have this many high-profile people who have died in a family, the odds are that one of them faked their death. It's just math. This newfound focus on death faking seems to coincide with a post mentioning that he's begun believing the guy's not that theory. In his own words, my eyes have been opened. All of this is beginning to make too much sense. One of his posts details the belief that Ron Roottrees is still in charge. When Roottrees' death was faked, and that Clark is only there to throw people off. Apparently, this allowed Ron to travel to France to develop their new candy recipe in secret. Another is about the rapper 5Ps. He can't possibly be a Roottrees. One of his first album songs when he was performing under the devil name actually mentioned that he wanted to have sex with Raina. Excuse me? Not even Sam Madsen is spared. According to Overwood, the author of 6 Pieces isn't real. Sam Madsen is an anagram for M. Madness. They're purposely leaving hints for us. He claims that by using 6 Pieces with Lauren Roottrees' book, as one time Patty has begun to decrypt a cipher. Most of the cipher has seemed meaningless, but he managed to pick out the words people and fastness, and is working on figuring out what this means. There is also a request at the bottom. Next year is a leap year, and Overwood is looking for funds and volunteers to catch the Roottrees red-handed in Operation 3029. He specifically mentions not to volunteer if you've ever drunk spirit cola, but doesn't go into why. Okay. Okay. Okay, wait. Oh, he traveled to France. Okay, so what are we supposed to do with this information? Oh, okay. Okay, the Guy's Not Dead conspiracy stems from a website that focuses on clues that the Roottrees have supposedly hid all over the place. This includes on candy wrappers, in print advertisements, in television commercials, in their jingles, etc. The story, according to the website, is that Guy Hudson was a terrible president of the Roottrees Company and introduced multiple failed products. Something needed to be done that would put the company immediately and instantly back in the favor of consumers. So they killed off Guy Hudson and replaced him with the new president. This move immediately garnered sympathy, and the company recovered the next year, more popular than ever. The next president stayed much further out of the limelight, and some people even theorized that he was simply Guy Hudson in an elaborate disguise, which is why he stopped appearing in public. The people who run the site are asking for help. They are certain that there's a clue to all of this that accidentally leaked in a banned article from the magazine Picoty. On their page, a scan of the magazine cover, the interview with Cicely Sanchez about Guy Hudson, and some photos. You add them to their evidence. Okay. Oke, jadi kita dapat konspirasi teori. Ada yang berkonspirasi si Guy Hudson tuh kayaknya nggak mati. Oh halo Kak Aubrey. Kayaknya nggak mati tapi sembunyi gitu di mana kan? Terus yang pas mereka dapat itu baru CEO baru, mereka tuh kayak ini pasti Guy tapi dia nyamar aja gitu. Mereka nyari-nyari sampai akhirnya dapat itu artikel yang harusnya udah di take down. Okay, this photo is the first from a magazine interview with Cicely Sanchez in Picotti. The issue of Picotti magazine that it came from was pulled from the shelves, but you managed to find it online. Picotti does not label it individual photos. Both photos were instead under the shared label. Cicely was provided these photos by the Roottrees company for use in her book. Oh, this must be Cicely Sanchez. Okay. Magazine interview with Cicely Sanchez in Picotti. The issue of Picotti magazine that it came from was pulled from the shelves, but you managed to find it online. Cicely was provided. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. This is an interview with Cicely Sanchez, an author. She was hired to write a book about Guy Hudson. You claim to have been paid a significant amount to write a book about one of the Roottrees, Guy Hudson. He was president for a short period at the end of 1970s, right? Yeah, I met him on the New Year's Eve actually, the last night of 1978. Guy liked to throw big parties. I was just coming off of Change Man and looking for my next project. When his wife learned who I was, she invited me to the party. To the party, and they cornered me to talk about a book. That was the first time anyone recognized me for my work. I had finally made it. The book they asked me to write sounded great, but then none of the stuff that made him interesting was allowed to stay. Chop chop, snip snip, anything with even the slightest threat to Guy's image ended up gone zoo. What was the stuff that made him interesting? At his core, Guy was not complicated. In fact, I think I could boil him down to two traits. First, he wanted to be seen as the second coming of the great Elias Roottrees. Okay. Ya, aku tahu dia tuh sangat mengagungkan kakeknya itu si Elias. And second, he'd never be satisfied living the life needed to be seen that way. He had his fortune and good looks, and he really liked to exploit that to pick up women. But he couldn't let anyone else know, so it cost him a lot to cover it up. That was the only interesting aspect of Guy. He was James Bond trying to convince people he was Mr. Rogers, I guess. Mr. Rogers? Really? Maybe that's not the best metaphor, but Elias Roottrees was boring as hell, as all hell, and all about family. Guy did everything he could to be seen that way. After I submitted my first draft, he sent me this garbage book, The Roottrees Legacy, with Elias on the cover. The last time he and I met, he had even switched out his orange suits for the same green ones Elias wore. And remember fancy flavors? Guy knew that part of Elias' legacy was the 5-piece flavors, so that's what Guy tried to do too. Caviar was a disaster here, but it was actually somewhat popular in Brazil for whatever reason. In Christmas 1979, he went to Brazil to open the Roottrees Brazil factory. Oh, wait. Guy was always hopping around the world trying to recreate that success. So how come the book never came out? It's complicated. I had an out in my contract. Surprisingly, Guy signed the contract my lawyers wrote without running it by anybody in his legal department. I could pull my name off the book at any time, but Guy still got the content. After I left, it probably got a lot harder to convince any real publisher to give it their time. He was the president, right? Do you know why he never released it himself? If I had to guess, his family very wisely put a stop to it. Mid-1981, months after I already moved on, he called me back and showed me a final draft. Do you know how expensive it is to publish one copy of a book? It had my name on it in big shiny embossed letters. Like all problems in his life, throwing money at me was his attempt to win me back. But it had half the page count and the narrative was torn to bits. No thanks. The dinner was good, imported steak that likely cost as much as a month of my mortgage, and we all got pretty drunk. He sent his mistress, Susie something, oh my god. Oke. Yang kemah? Where? Susie? Do we have anyone named Susie here? I don't see anyone named Susie. Poor girl, I remember her from our trip overseas. She was too good for him. Anyways, he died soon after, and that was the last it ever came up. What can you tell us about the family? Any insight into the scandals from the recent book by Sam Madsen? I actually haven't read it. I just skimmed the section on Guide to see why people were suddenly calling me up to ask about the man. I'd say she did well for what she had to work with. She only had rumors, whereas I spent time tailing him. Sometimes he knew, sometimes he didn't. He invited me to join them when dealing with Roottrees Brazil, but I actually had people on him when he went to Australia, France, and China too. When he met with someone, I'd figure out who they were and how they were involved. Doubtly so if the meeting happened when he didn't want me to be around. Despite his best efforts, I got the whole truth, including things even his family never knew. For example, the daughter of his business partner in Australia, I think her name was Robin, he and she definitely spent a few nights together that he didn't want his family to know about, but I did. My god, my guy! What the hell? Madsen got things wrong? Sam mentions guys' affairs and treats them like most people would logically think to treat them, like the infidelity was a problem for Patricia. When his wife first approached me though, it wasn't to talk, if you get my meaning. On paper and in public it was marriage like any other, but in reality, it was more of a mutually beneficial arrangement. They both got what they wanted out of it, the same thing. What was that? I'm assuming I only have to spell it out so you can get it in writing for your readers. Women. Patricia enjoyed the company of women and the swinger scene made that more accessible. I told her I wasn't interested in her and Guy. So jadi lavender marriage. Soalnya istrinya kan nggak, maksudnya kayak, if I understand correctly, istrinya juga interested sama perempuan. I found out later that if I had said yes, her next question would have been whether or not her husband actually had to be there too. Guy, on the other hand, was seen in a traditional marriage and at the same time could pet any woman that found him charming. I can assure you that was exactly the type of marriage he was interested in. Okay, I don't know if I understand this correctly. Takut salah pengertian aku. Jadi istrinya juga nggak mempermasalahkan gara-gara itu ya, oke. Oke, we can try. Salah. Okay. Roottrees Brazil, sometimes erroneously referred to as Roottrees Brazil, is one of the companies created to manufacture and distribute Roottrees candy. It was developed as part of the Roottrees Everywhere. Okay. Initiative nearing the beginning of 1979. Unlike some of the other Roottrees Everywhere results, Roottrees Brazil seems to be a success. You do some rough translating and find a significant amount of information about it. Brazil was the only region in which caviar-flavored 5 pieces were a hit. The primary reason that the factory still exists to this day is solely to create that flavor, which comes in its own standalone, 5 pieces back with Portuguese writing. A small town named Alphalagos became the location chosen by the Roottrees Candy Company after a newly elected local politician named Edson Suarez. Okay. Wait. Heard that they were planning a new factory and petitioned them in early 1979. The factory... Oh... Tiga itu bukannya dia... Itu ya? Bribing local politician ya? Pas ke Brazil. The factory was controversial as locals did not want it there. The Roottrees visited Brazil around Christmas and managed to break ground on the project. Since then, however, it has been operating relatively smoothly, except for 2 incidents. The first was Incendio do Bordo in 1982, and the second was a successful strike in 1995 that involved all the factory workers being replaced. The factory was originally built and run by a small company called Nova Corporação de Doces Brasil, which literally translates to New Brazil Candy Corporation. This company no longer exists. Not much information has ever existed about it. Okay, wait. Okay. Okay, Incendio. Oh, maple fire. Attack in the case of clear arson. The fire was brought under control after destroying about 2/3 of the production floor, and locals claim that the air smelled like mix of burning plastic and maple syrup. Yeah, this guy is definitely the bribe. Yeah, Brazilian politician. You find a dissertation published by a college student as part of their PhD in history. It focuses on the rise of democracy in Brazil. It seems up to 1988, Brazil was run by the military, and politics during the time were often a hotbed for corruption and nepotism. The paper tells of a few politicians at the time, including Edson Suarez. Edson is a former mayor of Alphalagos, Brazil. Before politics, he was a manager at an automotive manufacturing plant for a major American car company. He was put in charge of Alphalagos by the military government in 1973. As mayor, he used his manufacturing background and knowledge of American business to establish new factories, distribution plants, and other business ventures in the area. This had two side effects. First, he became quite rich. Second, many locals were forcibly relocated. Digusur. Emangnya di mana-mana politikus itu. This did not make him a popular mayor. In what the paper speculates was a move to counteract this unpopularity, his wife Sonia was discreetly put in charge of a television station called Telluride. He often used this connection to ensure supporters would appear on local television spouting his beliefs and emphasizing his political victories. He remained in office until 1988, when he was defeated in the first election after the military government was no longer in control. After his election loss, he quickly left the town behind. It is not known where he has gone, but the distortion even speculate he likely fled to stay alive. Okay, so Sonia Soares. A former television station in Brazil. Okay. Berarti kemungkinan besar where? Ya, ini si Edson, si istrinya Guy. I don't know, this is a secretary maybe. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this one. Ini udah benar soalnya. Berarti ini something is wrong here then. Yeah, and this one. Okay, what do we miss? Yeah, I know it's Christine, pasti. Ya udah, berarti bener kan? Ya udah, berarti bener. So what did I do wrong? Udah. Okay. Walk-up window. I don't know what I did wrong though. Ini kan harusnya udah bener dia. Foto tuh, oh ini foto tuh, foto one. Oh dan foto, oh oke. Wrong. Oke. Finally. Yes. Udah nemu fakta yang gong dari keluarga Roottrees ini. Buyah. New clues?
Sam reached out to me finally. I think I have you to thank for that one.
Akhirnya Sam menghubungi gua akhirnya ya. Aku harus berterima kasih sama kamu nih untuk
My
itu.
family's in a bit of a rough patch. Even though the candy is selling better than ever, everyone is fighting over the trust.
Iya, keluargaku lagi agak resek nih, walaupun permen-permennya terjual dengan sangat baik ya, tapi semuanya tuh berkelahi gara-gara si trust ini, si firma hukum lah
The majority of us want
istilahnya.
to dissolve it. On paper, it seems like the right decision.
Ya, sebagian besar dari kita tuh mau ya udah ini trustnya dibubarkan aja. Soalnya di atas kertas itu kayaknya
The
keputusan
arguments
bagus.
about what to do next are endless and heated. More than a few Roottrees are worried about losing their wealth.
Ya, jadi seperti biasa argumennya tambah kacau karena beberapa takut kehilangan harta mereka ya, kekayaan
I don't
mereka.
think we deserve it more than anyone else. I love my family, my wife, my daughters, even my son, who I hardly ever get to see. I want to keep them safe and secure. But I didn't do anything to deserve this fortune.
Iya, jadi kalau si Clark sendiri merasa keluarganya tuh kayak nggak pantas gitu mendapatkan semua harta itu. I mean, seeing what they
Hell, I probably
did.
deserve it less than most. It took me way too long to get my life together.
Apalagi karena Clark merasa gua kayaknya juga nggak pantas deh, karena kan apa ya, dia kan nggak terlalu terlibat dalam candy company-nya gitu, like he has his own life.
Okay, enough about me. Here's the deal. I can't stop the majority from voting one way or another. If you keep passing along potential Roottrees, I'll keep adding them to the list. On the other hand, there's been some leaps forward in genetics. It may sound like science fiction, but we can actually determine who's in the family just by testing their DNA.
Oke.
What you've done so far has been very useful. Just keep filling out the tree and we'll prepare for the tests.
Oke. Don't you have anything new for me? Kalian gak ada bukti lain apa buat gua? Oke. So where do we start now? Susan Soares. Siapa sih namanya? What was her name? Oh, aku tidak nyimpen catatannya tadi. Keburu ada event. What was her name? Oh, Sonia Soares. Oke. Oh, Flavio Soares. Flavio Soares is a young Brazilian newscaster With a bit of a cult following, the discourse surrounding him is, to put it in polite terms, lewd. There's a website about something called fanfiction that has a small section dedicated to him. It seems that women and some men of a wide variety of ages and writing skill tend to find him worthy of inclusion in their stories. You skim some of the tales there and learn that a common thread is that he's currently dating a supermodel named Ashley Cure. Okay. Suarez. Ini awalnya gara-gara saya minta hak buat anaknya kan, langsung kemana-mana masalahnya. Iya, karena semua tiba-tiba ngaku mereka Roottrees. Hai kak Karamel, welcome. Uma dasar babu SEA Games. Sudah saatnya melihat wiki. Oke. Oh ya, he is dating a supermodel named Ash. Wait, what? York. Many stories either seem to ignore her existence or get her out of the picture rather quickly. There are also other more traditional fan sites that list some things about him. His age is 18, zodiac sign Libra, his favorite food, mother name Sonia. Also, it seems that Flavio translates to golden haired. One website with a signed publicity photo of Flavio seems to confirm this. Okay. Oh, it's a British supermodel who does ads for perfume and jewelry. Okay, then okay. Let me find it here. Okay. Oh. Okay. Okay. Oke. Ya namanya fanfiction ya. Itu fiksi guys. Golden hair. Oke. Oh wait. Siapa namanya tadi? Sonia ya. Oh, I put him in page 1. Susie and Robin. Wah. Susie. Oh, maybe this one is oh no, enggak, kayaknya bukan, bukan, no, no. Oh, could be. Wait. Apa sih? Atton. News anchor. Could be ya, soalnya kan katanya si Edsonnya kabur ya. Oke. Okay, what else can we get? Oh, Teen Blast. Oh. So she's a teen? Gue kira dia udah dewasa gitu. Okay, appeared on the cover of Teen Blast, wearing a fur shawl 3 months ago. Doesn't lead to any useful information, but another more recent appearance in text only mentions she's dating Flavio Suarez. I was in Rio for Carnival and he was on one of the parade floats. I had no idea who he was, but I liked what I saw and told my people to invite him to the party I was going to. I felt pretty stupid once I realized that we were going to his party. Well, his mother's party. She runs a media empire. Okay. Jadi emaknya cukup sukses ya, oke. Oke, Mbak Sonia. Okay, Transmis Sao Paulo is a massive media group owned and run by a mysterious woman named Zonia Alves. Okay. It seems Sonia Alves is a common name in Brazil, so she has shortened her name to Nia to stand out in the public eye. According to a history page that focuses on her company and page on searchable details, Nia received a significant inheritance in 1980 and invested it in many different manufacturing business in her hometown in Brazil. At the same time, she had just begun to learn the ins and outs of running television network. She continued to work in television until 1988, when Brazil began its period of reform. She felt this was the perfect opportunity to launch her own media company using her investment and connection. Listeners unmarried. Okay. Wait. What is it then? Media mogul? What is media mogul? Bentar guys, cari terjemahannya dulu. Oh. Oke, media mogul. Oke. Oh ya, Roottrees everywhere. Oke guys, aku makan dulu ya sebelum kita lanjut lagi. Udah lapar, aku udah 7:30 ternyata. Makan dulu guys. Aku kembali. Apakah kalian lama menunggu saya? Oke, kita lanjutkan. Oke, so kita disuruh nyari. Jadi tadi kan kalau buat konteks ya, jadi di clue-clue sebelumnya dibilang si guy ini dia tuh travel ke banyak tempat kan, terutama Australia, Brazil, Cina dengan Perancis. Dan setelah kita cari lagi ternyata cabangnya Roottrees ada di situ di beberapa, tapi yang mulus tuh cuman yang Brazil ya. Oke, Roottrees everywhere. Oke, was an expansion in the late 1970s. It coincided with some other large changes at the company and had big success. Aduh, aku agak setengah mati baca gara-gara pilek. As far as you can tell, the different companies related to it were all formed in very different and sometimes haphazard ways. There's minimal organized information about the history of the expansion itself online, but you can glean the following. Roottrees Candy has been... Hai, halo Kak Geronir, welcome. Roottrees Candy has been distributed globally to certain markets approved by Elias as early as the 1940s. These include places like Canada, Mexico, and select countries in Europe, mostly the UK. Roottrees everywhere involved Roottrees expansion to other major markets that were assessed to be ready for Roottrees. This started with 4 that it had no share in: Australia, Brazil, China, and France. Each of the countries had an entirely new company formed, mostly by making deals with local distributors and manufacturers. Okay, let's try this one first. Okay. Roottrees. Okay, Roottrees House is one of the companies created to manufacture and distribute Roottrees candy. It was developed as part of the Roottrees Everywhere initiative in summer 1979. Wait. Developed in... Okay. According to a history website for Roottrees House, Charles Martin. Okay. Who owned a company that manufactured licorice in Australia, was tapped to run the Roottrees factory after he impressed the American leadership of the Roottrees Candy Company at the time. Berarti Guy Hudson ya. Roottrees House did have some success, but only in certain regions. The manufacturing leg of the company shuttered in 1992 after the death of Martin, and Roottrees House now serve as an importer and distributor. Okay. Okay, a candy manufacturer in Australia born in 1923, he had a popular brand of licorice called a Martin's Licorice Bullets. Okay, he has a popular brand of licorice called Martin's Licorice Bullets. Most of his history is unrelated to the Roottrees. However, in 1979, he helped to develop Roottrees House. He used his own wealth to build a new factory, and they distribute the maple treats through the same methods he had already been using for his previous candy venture. A website about Australian commerce mentioned that he had a very unusual business agreement with the main Roottrees company in the US. Much like how the Clan's Trust distributed the profits from the Roottrees company evenly to the Roottrees family, the profits of the Roottrees House would be split 50-50 between the American Roottrees company and Martin himself, for him to do with what he wishes. This made Martin very, very wealthy, but also led to many cost-cutting measures meant to increase profits as much as possible, especially towards the end of Martin's life in early 1990s. A Roottrees candy gained a poor reputation in Australia and sales suffered immensely. Charles' fast fortune was passed along to his daughter Robin Martin, who sold both business at first opportunity. Okay. Okay. 50 with America. Okay. Robin Martin. Oh, salah. Sorry. Mau ku highlight. Top 100 wealthiest women in the world list. Okay, she owns a private island off the coast of Australia where she reportedly has her own exclusive retreat. She has no husband, and there was a widely circulated rumor somewhere in the mid-70s that she had a medical procedure to ensure she never would have children. You find a joke on the site called Edgy Jokes that implies she's quite promiscuous and has a punchline involving Robin's ex. For what it's worth, Martin seemed to lean into the rumors. In the 80s, she once showed up at a charity function with 3 very attractive men each wearing a shirt that said "Simply Satisfied Partner" on it. Oh, okay. Okay. I don't know. Okay, wait. Oh ya, bukannya ada ya? Maybe. Okay. Apparently, Robin Martin sold off her father's assets in 1992, the year after he died, which, combined with her inheritance, immediately catapulted her to an almost unimaginable level of wealth. The writer at Business Watch, who was assigned to report on this news, seems to disapprove of this move immensely. While the article does touch on the announcement of who took over the licorice division as well as what was to become of the maple candy factory, the entire text seems to be dripping with contempt that someone would be willing to dismantle and gut such a successful company to earn a quick buck. The article ends with a dig at Robin's personal life and lack of traditional values. But who am I to judge? Maybe she sold it to insert a better future for her own children. Oh wait, yeah, she doesn't have children, does she? Let's go back to page 1. Yeah, this one. Okay, we can try and look for another thing. Kita bisa coba cari yang lain. Hai Gia, hai Kak Fuad, welcome. Okay, China Roottrees. Okay. Oh wait. China Roottrees is one of the companies created to manufacture and distribute Roottrees candy. It was developed as part of the Roottrees Everywhere initiative in the summer of 1979. During the late 70s, China began to go through a period of economic reform. Okay. This led to new opportunities for American companies, and the Roottrees Candy Company decided to pounce. Okay. Lang Hongbo, okay, who was said to personally win over the Roottrees family and was the owner of multiple textile factories, did not wish to import the ingredients and build a special factory to manufacture the candy in China. So instead, they made a deal to import bulk and package Roottrees candy and label it for not only China but additional markets. Hongbo, who was already in his mid-50s when the deal happened, only had daughters, and his brother Long Hongyu took control upon his death in 1986. After Hongyu died in 1992, it passed to the oldest child from the next generation, Lang Xingyu. Okay. Lang Hongbo won over the Roottrees family. Continued by his brother Lang Hongyu. Okay, you came across the website for the Lang Thai Textile Corporation, which is a company that has helped expand Roottrees products to China since the late 1970s. The company seems very accomplished. Their site has quotes from many different reporters and new articles listed on it in nearly every language. It's also mentioned quite often on websites about Chinese businesses. I mean, ya Cina tuh emang jago berbisnis ya. Halo Kak Gia cantik, halo Bang Java. But those mentions are company focused and not people focused, and don't offer any information useful to investigation. Their page contains a very rudimentary leadership timeline with names that prove that the company has been in the Lang family for a long time. It kind of looks like a family tree. It goes back to at least 250 years in some form or another. During the period where they began the Roottrees deal, Lang Hongbo in China, okay, oh yeah, the family name comes first, yes, was the CEO. He died before the internet was widespread, so there's not much out there other than his name on this website. His younger brother Long Hongyu is featured on the history section directly following him. The current CEO is woman listed as simply Xinyu. The site doesn't list her last name, though she does appear in the family tree below Hongbo. Lang Thai has a few American logos on its pages. One is the Roottrees logo, another is Tranquils, and the third is Piece of Asia. Okay. Ya udah cari itunya dulu deh. Lang Hongyu. Oh ya, oke. Got is a businesswoman. He was recently listed in an article on a website written by and for women. The article, entitled Empowered, is about the recent rise of women entrepreneurs in China. The article states that due to her lack of brothers, she has a younger sister. Lang Xinyu took over as CEO of her family's company in 1992, after her elderly uncle was deemed unfit to run the company due to mental deterioration. This was apparently extremely controversial move amongst the company's employees, and some of them quit and wrote a letter stating that she must have coerced him in his vulnerable state. Since then, the company has been performing well. Her nephew, who is currently her second in command, is expected to take over when she retires. In the meantime, the board stance has been twisted on the popular proverb. The article roughly translated is as, someone that has proven they can do something well can do it 100 times well. An unproven leader could doom us all. The article also offhandedly mentions that Xinyu was an early adopter of IVF and helped her sister have a child. There is an unsourced picture of Xinyu in an article. Okay. Where? Okay. Let me kira artikel tadi. Okay. Jadi dia tuh take over textile company-nya setelah kakeknya nggak bisa mimpin ya, karena ya udah makin tua ya, jadi mentalnya udah mulai agak kurang baik. Terus ya biasalah banyak employees-nya yang langsung quit karena merasa kayak pasti lu itu mengaruhin paman lu tuh pas dia lagi lemah-lemahnya. Tapi ternyata di bawah dia company-nya berjalan lancar. Oke. Okay. Nah, ini dia. Searching for Lang Xinyu separately brings up much fewer results than Lang Tai. Lang Xinyu was even featured in Business Watch in 1992. She missed out on Watchman of the Year, but did have a pretty sizable article that mentioned some of her history. She was born in 1947, the first of 2 children. Her mother was already in her 30s when she had her, and had trouble conceiving a second time, until 3 years later. This was Xinyu's sister. It became clear that her father was not going to have a son to pass the family business down to. This is how Xinyu became involved. Her father stayed the president of Lang Tai for a very long time, and his daughters grew up. He began training them in hopes that one of them would have a son who could take over. One helped him in China, Xinyu and the other in the USA. Okay. Neither were given any official titles. When he died due to societal dynamics, the business passed to his male sibling, a younger brother. Okay. Many in the know knew that this could be a problem. His brother was not a businessman and was not much younger than his brother. During this time, Sinyu essentially ran the company as her uncle's consultant. He began to have problems related to dementia. Iya, kalau udah dementia nggak bisa running company lah. And Sinyu, who had already been running things behind the scenes, performed somewhat of a power play. She stopped working until the results of her absence began to cause problems. Only then did they admit they needed her. Ya, tapi ya zaman dulu gitu sih ya. Pokoknya perempuan nggak boleh mimpin, nggak boleh jadi CEO lah. Terus si Sinyu bilang ya oke, gue nggak usah kerja aja, dan and they begged her to return. Oke. Oh. Her sister was in the USA. Okay. Langtai was mentioned in Business Watch fairly often in the last 20 years. Unfortunately, this makes the search results not particularly helpful. When you sort to find the oldest articles, however, one of the earliest mentioned from October 1979 stand out as a very unusual because it doesn't involve Langtai's business. The article details a new medical industry. In vitro fertilization was brand new, barely a year old after the first successful IVF birth in the 1978. It seemed the industry began to grow and featured articles about different companies all over the world, and the cost that they could charge for their services was in Business Watch. This included a few cases of high-profile customers willing to pay a premium. Apparently, at the time, the CEO of Langtai was Lang Hongbo, and his younger daughter Lang Xinyao. Okay. And her husband could not have children, so in an attempt to create a suitable heir, he paid Qi Jins to have their child implanted in his older daughter, who was unmarried. And the cost for this was apparently oh my god. Okay. Lang Sinyo is mentioned very briefly in an article about in vitro fertilization. Oke, jadi ternyata adiknya tuh kan nikah, tapi mereka kesusahan punya anak. Jadi mereka take part in vitro fertilization gitu kan. Jadi si itunya jadi surrogate mother. Siapa? Si Sinyu-nya jadi surrogate mother gitu, karena dia yang hamilin anaknya gitulah. Aku kurang ngerti gitu prosesnya. The article details a new medical industry. In vitro fertilization was brand new. Oh ya, sama ya. Ya, oke. Okay. Piece of Asia is the American arm of Langtai, located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. According to their site, the Thai in Langtai translates to peaceful, so they choose their name in America to match. There are a lot of other companies. Wait. Oh! Husband and wife Jerry and Linda Han. Oh, Jerry is Han Junwei and Linda is Yang Xinyao. Okay. Linda. Apa sih American name ya? Okay. Piece of Asia. Oke. 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 It seems Tranquils is a play on Tranquil and Quilts. Oke. Ada di sini nggak? Nggak ada. Piece of. Oke. Oke, agak-agak. Mohon maaf, ini si Guy bermainnya bersih banget ya, kayak belum ada loh namanya disebut di sini. Oh, Tristan Robert, oke. Kayak Indar tadi yang aku tuh curiga Langsin Yu loh. Tapi kelihatannya nggak ada hubungannya ya, karena dia kan, dia ada anak. Tapi anaknya kan buat si adeknya. Tapi aku jujur nggak ngerti in vitro fertilization tuh gimana kerjanya sih. Roottrees France is one of the companies created to manufacture and distribute Roottrees candy. It was developed as part of the Roottrees Everywhere initiative in summer 1979. Apparently, Roottrees France was non-starter. Negotiations broke down pretty late in the process. Okay. Non-starter, oke. Iya, jadi kayaknya ini yang paling nggak jelas tuh yang France ya. Businessman who at one time was in negotiation to take over Roottrees France. He is still alive, and you come across an interview unrelated to Roottrees from few months ago. It seems that other countries have not been immune to Roottrees mania, as you recognize the word Roottrees in one of the questions. It seems the interviewer snuck in a question about his experience with the company at the end of the 70s. The article is in French and takes some time to translate section by section. He mentioned Guy by first name only, and the tale he tells is quite ugly. Guy, the president of Roottrees, was one of the worst men I have ever met. He approached my wife about having an affair, which she refused. He then kept insisting that this was the best way to celebrate the end of our business contract. Oh my god, what an asshole. Kayak bisa-bisanya gitu loh lu datangin istri orang, terus bilang kita having affair yuk untuk merayakan akhir dari kontrak bisnis kita. Kayak what the hell, man. I don't think he expected her to say no, and I don't think he thought she would tell me what happened. I punched him in the face and refused to attend another meeting with this man. They lost a lot of money on this deal because not only was he a terrible person, but he was also a terrible businessman. When he died shortly after, it felt like the universe was working things out. I wasn't surprised to learn he had a secret child. He seemed to treat women like a collectible pocket monsters. I agree. It seems mentioning Pokemon sidetracks the questions a bit, and the interviewer never returns to the subject of Roottrees. Oh yeah. Yeah. Tristan Roberts, okay. Yeah. But this is entitled with Oh iya, the owners of Peace Asia. Oke, Jerry Amanda Hunt. Jerry, Linda, and Mark Hunt appeared recently on a website called Focus on Philanthropy. under the headline Hanging with the Hands. The Hands were chosen because they donate significantly to causes to further Chinese-American culture. Jerry and Linda were both born in China and fell in love during college. Linda's father led a large company. This article never names it. After it expanded to the US, Linda's father approved their marriage so long as Jerry took over the US portion of the business. Linda jokes that the entire situation is like something out of an Alanis Morissette song, with how ironic it all ended up. I was absolutely terrified to move to the United States, but my big sister was desperately in love with the idea. She used to have this Butch Cassidy poster on her wall and was obsessed with Robert Redford. But somehow Jerry and I were the ones sent here, and now we couldn't possibly imagine going back. When we had Mark, we never even considered giving him a traditional name. Meanwhile, my sister stayed in China and has thrived there. She doesn't even like visiting the US anymore. Our kids are complete opposite though. Mark couldn't wait to travel abroad as soon as he was old enough. He's actually in business school in China now, working with my sister. Our niece, who grew up there, was the opposite. She couldn't wait to get here. She started calling herself Lucy Lang in high school and flew out here as soon as she graduated. The name change apparently drove my sister absolutely loco. Oh, okay. Oh, Lucy. Oh, so her name is Lucy? Okay, so it's Lucy. Tapi Lucy nama Amerikanya tuh nama Chinese-nya. Oh wait, salah tulis, wait. There. Markham. Oh wait, back dulu. Sorry. Oke, jadi apparently si Sinyu ada anak cewek. Sinyu dapat anak cowok ya dari IVF. Wait. Terus gimana ceritanya Sinyu bisa punya anak kalau dia nggak ada suami deh? I mean, kalau dia go through with IVF, berarti yang dia lahirin lewat IVF itu si Mark kan? Jadi Lucy dari mana dong? Aku baru aja lihat berita lanjut tadi GRS di IG, kocak banget lah, malu-maluin. Iya asli itu nggak sih jadinya banyak spoiler Assassin's Creed yang baru sama apa sih? Ada satu game lagi tuh yang bocor. Mana katanya mereka udah dihubungin Bandai Namco nggak sih? Waktu itu juga aku nonton Bang Gema Show Indo, kalau kalian tahu. Dia tuh pas awal-awal masih kayak kita cek dulu websitenya deh. Dicek websitenya, oh my god guys, websitenya dicek kayak nggak niat buatnya gitu loh. Kayak dibuatnya kayak asal kelihatan kerja. Bayangin gitu, data-data developers bocor asli. Udah gitu kemarin nyalahin itu nggak sih, Steam nggak sih mereka tuh? Iya. Oh ya, Lucy Lang. Oh, Lucy Lang. Okay. Lucy Lang is not exactly a common name, but it's not the most uncommon you've come across either. Robotics website as part of Team Talon Claw. A new robot-based show in UK. A small women's a cappella group in Los Angeles. In New York for business called Corporate Energetic Solution Unlimited. Okay, let's look up one by one. Team Talon Claw is the robotic club of a Mid-Eastern university. The robot also named Talon Claw has been selected for appearance on the second season of a British television. Yalah, orang boomer nggak jelas anjir, ya kan? Ini aja baru nyalain Google gigi. Boomer kolot. Udah gitu pas pertama keluar ratingnya ngasal lagi. Kalian bayangin deh, Story of Season tuh dapat R18 plus loh. Oh British. A small blurb mentioned that robot fighting league have existed for a few years, but there have been recent moves to televise it. Talon Claw was one of the 2 teams selected from the US. The robotic club has a text-only site. You can find link. Okay, at the bottom, Lucy Lang and Kurt Hauser. Okay. Well, they come from the US. Okay, it doesn't seem relevant. I mean, ini bisnis ya, mamanya kan bisnis ya. Oke. Oh ya, oke. How about Lucy Lang was listed in Business Watch for her work with Corporate Energetic Solution Unlimited. She's in an article about consultants that corporations hire to facilitate large internal changes. Each person featured in the article has a small bio section. She grew up in a small Arkansas town, the oldest of 4 children, and she's only the second person in her family to ever have left the state. She earned her degree. Okay. Oh, I don't think she's this one. Maksudku, berarti dia yang ini nggak sih? British. Okay. Oh ya. Kalau kebocoran game itu kan biasanya dari beberapa developers, oke lah kalau game bocor. Tapi ini masalahnya data penting developersnya kayak email pribadi. Aduh, nggak bisa aku baca semua. Iya, personal datanya keluar semua. Ini parah banget masalahnya, data masyarakat aja udah nggak diurus kebocorannya lah. Ini data orang asing loh. Makanya kayak mereka tuh sok-sokan mau ngatur game dalam artian kayak mereka mau bilang anak-anak tuh beberapa punya perilaku nggak bagus karena main game terus kan. Tapi mereka tuh kayak nggak mempertimbangkan metode yang mau mereka pakai gitu loh. Kayak data masyarakatnya aja nggak bisa kejaga. judul masih merajalela, nggak diurus-urusin. Terus habis itu mereka tuh nggak mikir Steam itu yang bisa pakai, yang bisa beli game di situ pasti orang-orang berduit. Nggak mungkin anak-anak di bawah umur bisa pakai Steam gitu loh. Kayak jadi mereka tuh mau ngeblokir game dengan alasan buat menjaga anak-anak, tapi mereka nggak mikir itu game-gamenya aja nggak akan bisa diakses sama anak-anaknya karena mereka nggak ada duit. Kalau mau curate mobile game ya bolehlah, silakan lah, karena itu kan beberapa emang ya kayak Roblox dan lain-lain emang anak-anak suka mainin, dan ya kita nggak bisa memungkiri ya beberapa berita mengenai Roblox emang agak kurang menyenangkan. Tapi kalau Steam mau apa, buat apa bejir? Steam itu yang punya akun tuh bukan anaknya, bapaknya atau mamahnya kalau mamanya juga suka main game. Kayak aku aja baru bisa beli game baru pas mau masuk S2 loh. Oke. Mid-Eastern University is a notable private college that advertises itself as midway between Medellin and Miami. Their mascot is the Spectres, though they are not known for their sports programs. Kan? Iya, kayak mereka tuh mau apa ya, kayak mau sok-sok mencampuri urusan kayak gamers gini, tapi nggak ngerti apa yang mau mereka lakukan itu loh. Their legal and language departments are their pride and joy, though they also have fairly extensive computer science and robotic programs. Along with other prestigious schools that haven't quite reached the notoriety of Ivy League schools, some refer to it as Little Ivy. The college has embraced this, calling their newspaper the Herald. Herald. Okay. Herald. Select. Yes. Oke, lagi aku mau off dulu, mau ada kelas kursus bahasa Jepang. Iya, aku juga jadi pingin kursus bahasa Jepang lagi deh. Dulu sempat kursus sebentar terus berhenti. The Herald has a story about their school's robotics team, Team Talent Claw. It lists 3 students member and talks a bit about each of their history. The only one that catches your attention is Lucy Lang. She grew up in China as Min Lang. Oke. But came to the US specifically to attend university. She says she grew up around factory-scale machines that assembled products that would be shipped all over the world, and the moving parts and automation fascinated her. However, as she has progressed through her major, she has become obsessed with smaller, more powerful hydraulics, such as the mechanism that closes Talon Claw's weapon. In addition to robotics, she loves linguistics. One of her hobbies since coming to the state has been collecting accents. In her spare time, she practices not only removing any trace of her native inflection, but also quickly switching between multiple different regional accents. Okay. Oh, pretty. Ya, berarti ini pasti sih. What was her name? What is the CEO? Oh, yay! Oh, nice, I was right. Okay. Okay. Huh? Oh, min. Wallet sih dia. Oke. Ya, tinggal yang ini ya berarti. Ya, ini yang aku nggak tahu. Oh, news time. Oke. Billy Sims. Oke. News Time did a small piece about a fight between Sims and Crocodile, but tried to approach it from a different perspective. Their goal was to paint a picture of the two men involved from others who knows them best. Okay, not only did they manage to interview Sims' wife Carla, as well as multiple staff members at the school, but they hunted down Colleen Webb. Okay. Mana? Ya, salah. According to the section with Colleen, she and he met when he worked for an airline. She worked in an airport newsstand. He was a drinker and would often have wild mood swings. When he was charged with assault of a fellow pilot in 1975 and lost his job, they divorced. At the time, she was pregnant with their second daughter, and she felt she needed to get out before things got worse. She left him and moved to San Diego to live with her sister, and told her oldest that her dad had to fly planes for the army. She raised them both by herself, and although she never went through the trouble of changing their names legally, they used the web names so that nobody could connect them to her ex-husband. Okay. So, Mary Webb. Yes. A Mary Webb in San Diego has a website called Web on the Web. Apparently, it's a personal travel diary that also doubles as an advertisement for her travel agency. There are descriptions of Mary's services, including booking flights and prices. Almost all of them involve extremely niche audiences. It seems Mary is the #1 agent when it comes to booking spiritual vacations. Aboard ghost ships and in specific hotel rooms that are said to be haunted. She also has a dedicated section for more traditional modern cruises that cater to specific groups such as fans of boy bands. In the diary entry, she talks about the trips she's personally taken and uses that as an opportunity to feature descriptions of amenities and excursions that the ships offer. There's also pictures of ships, hotels, landmarks in places she's visited, as well as a picture of Mary herself with the ship in the background. Okay. Where? Oh, corporate composition. Anak muda ya, oke. Oh ya. Oh ya, corporate composition. Photography. Photography studio that was listed. Oh, no longer exists. Okay. 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 LBP. What is LBP? Okay, wait. File. Oh. Oh, LBP. Okay. Lebanese pound. Which one? This one? Oh. Ah. File an award-winning. Oh my god, I got the dapat jackpot. It's a business in Beacon, New York, and the site it has picture of a baby. Cam Lincoln reaching for his namesake. I guess he takes after his father. Oh my. Telephoto is a photograph magazine. Lincoln, a photographer who went overseas during Desert Storm. He won the Sepia Award for photojournalism, specifically for the photo on the cover. Okay. Game detektif kayak ini. Halo Bang Jos, welcome. Iya, ini game detektif. Okay. Paul got his start in high school when he took a photography class because he couldn't decide what else to do and thought it would be the best career in the world to shoot for a Playboy. Oh my god. But he quickly found he had a knack for it and began to skip lunch and his free periods to spend more time in the dark room. After graduating, he tried to pivot to landscape photography but didn't have any passion for it. I work much better when I'm trying to tell the story of a person or an object. He got lucky when a photographer mentor of his was going overseas to cover the war decided to take a chance on him. Most people wouldn't call it lucky to go to an active war zone for no pay, but he bought my plane tickets, all my meals, and even pulled some strings so he could rush my passport. For someone that had never had a real job or even left California, it was a hell of a break. Paul was only 19 at the time and shot the photo that won him an award the third night he was there. The photo depicts Lisa Clementine, who lost an arm in Operation Desert Saber. According to the article, women were not subject to direct combat, and Lisa was in the vehicle at the time. The vehicle had to pull over suddenly when the road ahead was partially destroyed, and she had a fellow soldier, and she and a fellow soldier were severely injured by landmine. Paul says I ran into Lisa just after her surgery and took this picture. Then until she shipped out, I kept finding excuses to go back and take more pictures of her. I guess it was fate because that's the photo that won me an award, got me into your magazine, and also led to my engagement. Just earlier this week, she agreed to become Mrs. Lincoln. Okay. Okay. Wait, Clementine? Okay. So it's not Webb, but Clementine? What is it, military? Foul. Lincoln. Baby. Wait. Ini pakai Clementine tapi Clementine or Webb? Military. Oh, so she is no longer a military. Okay, so she is a teacher. Profesor? Game story ini kah? Halo Kanels. Ya, ini game story. Hi.
Hey there, it's us. So I just have to say, the work you're doing here is fantastic.
Oke, jadi katanya kita melakukan
So
pekerjaan yang
fantastic,
bagus.
in fact.
Ya.
There goes Clark. Always the bad cop. Go ahead.
Well,
Okay.
our law firm, Ruby Legal Enterprises, is having trouble keeping up. They're
Okay.
actually begging us to stop submitting new Roottrees. They said it's getting difficult to verify your progress.
Why?
Well, consider that a good thing. I told Clark you'd get results.
She says that like I didn't believe her. Regardless, the bad news is it's going to take 5 potential tree additions before anyone locks in from now on.
Oke, harus nambah lagi
Good luck.
5 ya.
And keep up the good work.
Oke. Oke, ini ya. Oh ya, there is this one too. Oke guys, karena udah mau jam 9, udah nemu fakta unik apa lagi soal keluarga Roottrees ini? Kalau Kak Gula Batu ya istilah intinya. Ya. Ya istilah intinya fakta unik lainnya dari yang kalian lihat, dia selingkuh sama 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 orang ya. Dan semuanya menghasilkan keturunan. Ya, dan semua menghasilkan keturunan. Dan ini satu juga si Miracle ini. Dan ini tuh keturunannya semua dari project Roottrees Everywhere. Dia literally proyek di mana dia tuh ke seluruh dunia gitu. Terus habis itu dia buka cabang di Cina, di Prancis, di Brasil. Itu dia buka cabang. Terus habis itu ini mistress dari Cina satu, ini dari Brazil, and after that apa lagi ya? Oh ya, jadi istrinya juga kayaknya lesbi, makanya dia istrinya nggak terlalu memusingkan soal itu ya. Jadi kayaknya dia dengan istrinya tuh lavender marriage, makanya dia affair-nya bisa kemana-mana. Crazy iya. Iya kan, candy company-nya di Amerika, jadi dia buka cabang di beberapa negara lain. Tapi yang sukses cuman yang di Brazil. Oke guys, sampai di sini dulu aja ya. Gameplaynya udah jam 9 soalnya aku mau tidur. Terima kasih buat yang udah datang. Ada Kak Frey, ada Kak Nels, ada Kak Aubrey, ada Kak Gula Batu, ada Kak Karamel, ada Kak Wilfred, terus ada Kak Geronir, ada Kak Fuad, ada Kak Bang Java, ada Bang Jos. Terima kasih banyak ya guys. See you later tomorrow. Besok kayaknya aku mau lanjut Luma Island. Ternyata seru. Aku mau lanjut main Luma Island. Terus habis itu malamnya, kalau aku nggak lanjutin ini, paling aku main pokoknya Duck Detective atau Aurora Hills. Pokoknya game-game detektif gitu paling aku lanjutin. Oke guys, thank you so much. Bye bye.